Okay, sir. We are live. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for attending this particular webinar. So, from last week, we have started a webinar series. So, good morning, everyone. Just thank you, everyone, for attending. Okay, so from last week, we have started a webinar series on achieving success in career. And last week, we have with us from last week, Mr. Mahendra Kane, sir, who is a senior manager, business development at Siemens. So with more than 16 years of experience, last week, he conducted a session on 10 important things to have a successful career and life. And today we are having a session on managing personal finance. So along with your placement preparation for aptitude, technical skills, these things are also very important. So I again welcome Mahendra sir and thank you for giving your valuable time. And I request you to start your session.
Okay, thanks Amit and Talent Battle team. I hope I am audible and my screen is also visible. Okay, so let's start. The topic today is managing personal finance. Now, many of you might be wondering why such a different topic altogether. We are talking about careers. The topic today is managing personal finance. I think there is an echo, Amit. Okay. So the idea behind taking this topic is basically, we all know that money is important in life, but many of us don't know how really we need to nurture it. We all earn money in different ways. We work, we do business, etc. But many times when it comes to managing this financials or managing the commercial aspect in your life, many of us struggle. So whatever experience I had in last 16 plus years, when I started my career, then how I did about this personal financing management. So that I'm going to discuss with you. So hi everyone, my name is Mahendra Kane, and I'm really glad to be associated with Siemens from long time, and presently working as a business development guy. My passions are reading, self development. Nowadays, I'm doing a lot of volunteering, and the main aim of reaching to all of you is basically because of I really want to help others to grow. So that is really unconditional thing which I think everyone should do. Whatever they have, they know they should always share. So this is the passion behind doing this such kind of things. Before we really begin, a small token of gratitude. See, as I said, I'm a full-time worker, a full-time professional. So I'm not really a professional trainer or a financial kind of thing, certifications. I'm just simply sharing my thoughts and learnings using this internet and other stuff which I got from various websites, Google Images, like that. So I'm really thankful to a lot of guys who have contributed to success and this on various aspects of life, and I really feel grateful that I am able to use their ideas and things here, right? So again, my sincere request is we should always pass it on whatever we are learning. So this webinar is also part of the same thing. So let's begin. So when I decided to do this program, then I thought that some people might have some vague ideas, like some people might think that I am not I'm a financial advisor. I have a hidden agenda using this to do some marketing of my company. So let's be very clear. I am not a financial advisor or a planner, right? I am a simple person who is working in a company and doing such things in just my spare time and trying to educate others. Also, I'm not linked to any other financial company, so there is again no hidden agenda. Also, I'm not selling any policies, mutual funds, shares, etc. So this is just out of passion I'm sharing. So the real objective of today's session is this topic is really not very frequently talked about, and many of you are in last year of your education. So at this point of time, you may not understand the significance of it, but my idea is to empower you, to give you a lot of thoughts in this topic, so that these will be useful when you really start earning the money, right? And then how do you plan your future? That will really depend on how you are able to save and invest your money. So that's the sole objective of this webinar. So when we talk about being a rich, so I have never come across a single person who is telling that I really don't want to become rich, right? Everyone wants money, Money has a lot of benefits. Money can do a lot of things, right? Obviously, money can't buy you happiness, but money can do a lot of things. So there is no doubt about that. Money is not required. So many people want to become rich. They dream of becoming rich, but what all they do is really they do nothing. They simply keep on dreaming, right? So we have to obviously start dreaming to become something bigger, better. But obviously we have to also take some actions. So what kind of actions we have to take, that we will discuss today in this webinar. So coming to becoming rich or becoming poor. So I came across this very nice definition of what is really a poor. So poor is someone who is spending consistently more than what he or she is earning, right? So it doesn't matter whatever salary you have. Let's say you are earning 1 lakh salary, but if you are spending 1 lakh 10,000 every month, then obviously at the end of day, at the end of month, you are having a 10,000 rupees negative in your account, right? So you have to borrow that money from someone else. So that's not rich. Rich is basically the one who is spending less than what he's earning, right? So that's really meaning of a financially poor person or financially rich person, right? So as I said, many people earn a lot of money. They as the years progress in their careers, they keep on getting more money, more incentives, bonuses, etc. But if we are not wisely investing those, then definitely, and if the expenses are more than what you're earning, then this is obviously going to go down in the drain, right? So nothing will really make you broke faster than trying to impress others. Many times in the false pretense of showing someone that I am really rich, I'm the king of the world, you keep on doing a lot of expenses which are really not required, right? If you have, let's say, I have a car, I have bought a car 2 years back, and just because some new car has come into market, I rush and buy a new car, whereas when the resale value of my present car has already becoming 1/5 or 1/6, right? So that's not good thing to do. So if you are just showing off and spending money for that, then definitely it's a fastest way to get broke. So as I said again, it is not your salary that matters. Obviously salary is mattering because it is the source of your income, but the spending is also very important aspect in your life, right? So these guys, Dave Ramsey or Warren Buffett, etc., these are the gurus in this field. So you will see a lot of different thoughts which I have written down here in this area. So if you get a chance, do read to their books and videos, etc. So you will get a lot of information on this specific topic. So the question you should ask yourself, when you start earning money, then you should start asking your question to yourself whether you are really in charge of your expenses. you know we all like Bollywood movies. I'm a big fan of Bollywood movies and Hollywood movies. So they show that some movies show that the person is small, a child, and then suddenly running, the person becomes big, right? Then after some time it becomes older. So in my story, the heroes, the age is around 20 23 years, 23 years mostly. So around 2 years he has spent in a job, and then he is earning money steadily from that job. And then now the question is, he wants to settle down. One day his parents ask, beta, are you interested in marrying someone, right? So then the wheels start churning in his mind, and then he starts thinking, what I have earned so far, what I really got so far in terms of money. So if I want to start a family, what really I want to do, how much money I should have, right? If I have children in future, what should I do about their education, what shall I do about my retirement, etc. So when you start asking these questions to yourself, then only the journey begins for towards a financial freedom, right? So the first question we should always ask ourselves, whether you are really in charge of your expenses. So expectation, you can see that everyone wants you to be rich, right? Obviously including you. But what really matters at end of months for many people is that the wallet is empty, or there is very less money in out of it. So I saw this very nice sentence that my wallet is like an onion. So opening it always makes me cry. So if you are spending too much instead of, and as compared to what you're earning, then obviously your wallet will always be crying, right? So these things you should really keep in mind. So if you are someone like this who is really struggling at end of a month or end of day, that there is not enough money left for you for future, then there is definitely a, you have to pause your journey and then ask yourself whether it is the right time to start managing your finances. So unless you really take control of your expenses, this journey will not begin, right? So let's move forward. As I said earlier, uh, money is not everything, right? Relationships, love, etc., they matter a lot. But money obviously is a catalyst for bringing them together and then keeping everything together, right? So we should always think of money also when when we are thinking about all other aspects of the life, right? So if you start managing your personal finances, then definitely something called as financial freedom will start getting a shape. So we'll talk about that later in this webinar. So what is the first step? Basically, that you should know where you are standing today, right? What is your real expense after taxes? How much you're paying to other things, and then what are your expenses? This is the first step to know where you are today, right? You can't go to somewhere else when you don't know where you are presently, right? If you want to go to Delhi from Mumbai, you have to first be in Mumbai, right? So second step is ensuring that your earnings are more than your spendings, correct? Or your spending is less than your earnings. That is the more important thing. If we start spending recklessly, then whatever money we earn, it is still not enough. Third point is you should also think of big future expenses. Like when you start your journey of a career, in first 2 3 years, when you're not married, you are alone, you're living as a bachelor in some metro cities. The lot of people keep on spending money, and then every day they go to hotels, and they enjoy the life, right? To some extent it is required, because in first 20 21 years of your life, you have been in your homes with your parents, etc., and then you really could not do this as much as a free person, right? But when you are on your own, earn your salary, first salary, then definitely it is required to spend some money just to get a feel of the freedom. But then we should know where to stop, right? The key in life is always we should know where to stop. Unless we don't know that, then there can be much problematic issues afterwards. So when we are thinking about financial freedom, when we are thinking about personal finances, we should also think about what kind of future expenses I will need to incur. So big expenses like marriage, home, child education, your own retirement, right? So these are it will put a big dent on your pocket if you're not thinking of these expenses right at start. The earlier you are starting to think about this, it will be very easy for you to manage later, right? So my marriage was cost around maybe 3 lakh rupees, but then after 20 years my children's marriage might cost maybe 50 lakh rupees. You don't know the way things are changing in this scenario, in this market conditions. Things are very expensive these days, right? So as the years progress, the inflation also start increasing, and then you will also see that the expenses have also started increasing for each and everything, right? Another thing is, if you have aspirations, like sometimes people have aspiration like, I want to start a business, I want to do a world tour, I want to visit Europe, US, etc. I want to live there for a long time just as a vacation. So I need to earn money out for that. Some people are, they're very passionate about customized vehicles. I want to have some very hi-fi vehicle, two-wheeler, maybe Harley Davidson, which costs maybe 5 6 lakh rupees, etc. Or some four-wheeler, a big hotshot four-wheeler, something like that. So this kind of aspirations need a lot of money. If you want to start your business, you need obviously a lot of money, significant amount of money to start a business, right? So if you are clear where you are today, how much you are spending today, what will be the major expenses you will incur in future, and then if you have any aspirations, then I think the path is set. You can really start building your own financial freedom, and you can also start building a big financial fortune also. Now many people might think that this is too much, too overwhelming. I really don't know anything about finances, so how shall I begin, right? And when we talk about commerce, obviously mathematics comes into picture. But for you to be a financial planner or financial advisor of your own life, you really don't require to be a hi-fi mathematician. You don't require tan theta, cos theta, hyperbolic, parabolic. Really not required. A simple understanding of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division is good enough to work in this field, right? Because it all matters basically how much you're earning and how much you're spending. If you are able to get that maths right, then all other mathematics is really not required. So be very clear, be very sure that if you know simple mathematics, which I am sure everyone knows, as simple as that, then it is really easy for you to start this journey. So let's begin with this journey. So what we really need to do is first to analyze where you are today, right? So what you're doing is basically you have to first identifying where you are. So what kind of incomes you are earning, and what kind of expenses you are making. Instead of doing this in your mind, it is always better to write it down on paper, and in fact even better if you do it on Excel sheet. So Microsoft Excel will help you a lot in terms of automating your tasks, right? So I prefer Excel sheet. It is very easy. You can just start with a blank sheet, just write down incomes as a head on the, one in one column and expenses on other, and then you can really begin your journey. So first is list all sources of your income. So maybe, like salary is one of the major incomes, or maybe if you are doing a kind of business, that is also income. If you have some a home already, and if you put it on rent, so that is also income. So there can be multiple heads of income, right? List all periodic expenses. Now periodic has a very important meaning. Like many times you have to, let's say you are paying some rent. If you're living on rent, you are paying a rent, that is a periodic income, periodic expense. If you are paying something monthly, quarterly, some premiums, etc., for some policies, so that is also an expense for you, because you are spending money on that specific thing, right? So list down all the periodic expenses, list down all the policies, etc., whatever data you have on an Excel sheet, and keep that Excel sheet up to date. That is really important. Third is very important, because the whole journey is about spending less than what you're earning, right? So obviously one way of increasing your earning is by, switching jobs or doing some getting some promotion, etc. But then another way to save money is to reduce your spendings, right? We all are fans of cricket. So in cricket, a commentary, a very famous commentary is, if you are saving a run as a fielder, then you are actually earning a run for your team, right? So if you are saving some money out of your pocket by doing something, then definitely you have indirectly earned that money, or you are not eroded that money in spending. Next is analyze what expenses you can reduce. Now so far you had been doing this randomly. I really like one jeans, even though I have four jeans with me, I just want to buy one more, just out of impulse, right? So this impulsive selling or impulsive buying also creates a big impact on your wallet. So if you start analyzing that, in last month my shopping budget was, or shopping expenditure was, let's say 5,000 rupees, and again I am buying clothes in this month even though I really don't need it. I have 4 to 5 shirts in my cupboard which are still unopened, but I am, again, whenever I'm going to a mall with my friends, I want to buy, right? So that compulsion we have to avoid. So analyze where you can reduce your spending. That will really help you a lot in long term. So that requires a lot of discipline, obviously, but then it is not that difficult to achieve, right? See, if you see all these big people, very rich people like Warren Buffett, uh, Bill Gates, right? So they are extremely wealthy beyond your imagination. But at the same time, what sets them apart is they're extremely simple people. They believe in frugal living, very simple living, right? So if you imbibe that in your mind, that I want to live comfortably, yes, but I really don't want to show off just because I have money. Just because I'm earning 1 lakh rupees salary, I really don't want others to show off that, I'm very rich, and I have such a big house and posh car, and every two years I'm changing the car, something like that, right? So if we identify what kind of expenses we are doing and where really we can reduce that, just to live comfortably, I think that should be good enough to start change the way you operate in your life. Next thing is, list the major future expenses. As I said, marriage can be another very big expense these days. Buying a house is a very big expense. You require a lot of money as a down payment for this. Then buying a car, children education, retirement is also another thing which many people don't realize unless they cross 40, 45 years of their lives, right? So you have a golden chance now. You're hearing to all these things just at age of 2021, because then if you start thinking of about your retirement, then and then you have to start planning about that, then definitely it will help you in long run. And the last is basically make list of all your investments, wherever you have invested already. You're having some kind of LIC policies or any insurance, other things, provident funds. Many times the parents are wise. So like in my case, am really grateful to my parent that they started showing me how to get things, how to get these things done, right? So many times parents force children in positive way to save some money. So whatever you have done, just start writing it down. And then once you start writing it down, write everything, like the name of the FD, the bank, when you invested, when it is going to be matured, etc., what is the rate of interest. So all these things, if you start writing down, then it will have very clear understanding of about your own expenses, right? So we can't really start a journey unless we know where we are today. So the idea is basically that we want to become financial free, or we want to attain a financial freedom. So there should be some magic figure, like maybe 15 crores, 20 crores. Today I am at age of 21, and then let's say I want to retire at 60 or maybe 55. Then if I do all this exercise and come out with some magic figure, then it is really a goal for you to start investing for the next 20, 25, 30 years, right? So that should be your goal. If you come up with some figure, and then if you think this is good enough figure, then you can really start chasing that figure, and then the something which you really chase with all your heart and mind, then definitely it is going to come true, right? So decide that magic figure. That magic figure is really important. If you don't have that figure, there are a lot of ways to figure it out, what would be your magic figure. So you can just go to net and just search retirement calculators, right? FD calculator. So anything viewed calculators in the net, they will give you good enough idea of how much you should save to have a comfortable retirement, right? So the idea is, till the time we are earning money, obviously we have money to spend, but once the retirement comes, then we really don't have money to spend. So that time, if we are not prepared earlier, so preparing right from age of 21, preparing right from the first salary of your life, then it will really make a difference in long term. So as I said, many people dream of becoming rich, but where they fail is they don't take any step, right? Or they simply procrastinate. A procrastination is thinking of something but really not doing it. Okay. So the journey of 1,000 miles always begins with first step. Unless you take that first step, your second, third, fourth, nth, 100th will never happen, right? So the only impossible journey is something which it is only in your mind, but you are really not beginning properly. So take some step today. Maybe after this webinar is over, start thinking what you really want to achieve in life and how the money can help you in this. That can be a baby step for you, since you're not earning right now. For a professional who is already 3-4 years in his job and has enough money, then he can also start thinking how he can utilize this money and then make a financial free life later, right? So explore various modes of investments available in market when you are clear with what you really want to do, right? The previous step, we talked about creating a kind of Excel sheet where you're writing down expenses and actuals spendings. Then when you're really decided your magic figure, then you start exploring how I can reach to that magic figure. So maybe of 10 crore, 15 crore, 100 crore, whatever. It is up to you what magic figure you want, right? Read articles, watch videos. If you have no time for this, at least go to a financial advisors. You will see a lot of financial advisors in market today who are offering these services. Some offer this free of cost, some offer this you taking some charges, right? But when you are selecting a financial advisor, always see that he is in line with your goals, not that you are in line with his goals, right? So that is the most important step while deciding your financial advisors, right? So there are a lot of instruments available in market. Many of you obviously know. So we start with simple things like banks, institutions. They offer fixed deposits, recurring deposits. Nowadays, because of the policies, the returns are extremely low. This just 5-6%, right? But obviously the risks are also low. The next step is precious metals like gold, silver, diamond, etc. So where if you buy that and you keep it with you, then in long term the price increases a lot. Like, just I will give you my example. In my marriage, some 13 years back, the gold was around 8,000 rupees, and today it is 40,000 rupees. So just imagine what would have happened if I had bought 1 kg or 2 kg gold in that time. Obviously I had no money, obviously, that time. But then if I had that money, then I would have been super rich today, just because of the difference in 40,000 and 8,000, right? Next is real estate. This is also a very interesting field. So normally when we talk about real estate, the first thing comes in mind is home, your own home. But also you can spend money, invest money in lands and shops, etc. Returns obviously vary a lot based on your location. So like in Mumbai, if you buy some land, obviously you should have that much money, but the appreciation is unbelievable. But the same thing, if you are buying something, land or something in a B class or C class city, then obviously the returns are not as high, or maybe you have to wait for more longer time. The last but not the least is the stock market and mutual funds, which many people are aware, but they really don't want to venture into that, right? Because of the extreme volatility in the market, right? But I have seen that, and we'll also discuss about this, that if you are patient enough, if you have 10-15 years as a long term goal, then stock market and mutual funds actually give you more returns than any other way. Okay, so we'll talk about that later. So important is what is the age which you are at today, and then what kind of risk appetite. If you are conservative by nature, then putting money in mutual funds or stock market will obviously increase your blood pressure every now and then. If you are having enough risk taking capacity, then go for that. If you don't want to remove your money for 10-12 years, go for stock and mutual funds, right? So it depends really what is your risk appetite. So far I have talked about what kind of things you can do. Now let me also throw some light on what I did and what things which I figured out from my experiences in managing my own money in so many years. Okay. So first is, when I started, I was also directionless. So first thing my parents told me, in fact, even my boss also, first boss told me how to do. So very surprising and very pleasantly motivating, that I got a lot of inputs from them and how to manage money. So first thing everyone told me is you should have a budget. Unless you know where you are, you really can't begin your journey, right? So a budget is telling you where to go your money and not where it went, right? So you make budget at start of the month, you don't make budget at end of the month. So make this very clear in your mind, that when you want to start your journey of financial freedom, first you should create a proper budget, right? And the best way to stick to a budget is start one. Unless you have any budget, you will keep on spending more money than what you're earning, which you may not realize at start, because everyone is so willing to give you credit cards, this personal loans, etc. So you think that you will have a lot of money, but then when the time comes to pay back to the credit card company, then you will realize that you don't have money, and then this vicious cycle will keep on increasing. So the only thing, if let's say you don't take away anything from this webinar today, at least take away one thing from me: please don't exceed your expenses than what you're earning. If you are able to do that, nothing like that, you are on the right track of your journey, right? Very important is, do not say what is left after spending. Always plan the budget at start of your month, and then let's say you are earning 50,000 rupees of salary, and then there are some mandatory expenses like rents, etc., or some investments that you should first align. And then let's say you are left with 20,000 rupees or 15,000 rupees, that is a good way to spend that money, right? So in that case, at start only that I have only 15,000 rupees which I can spend as of today, right? If you start spending first and then trying to gather money for paying your rent and other things, then that is not a wise thing. So always remember that you should always spend what is left after saving and not the other way. Now we talk about a lot of growth things right here. So we are talking about long term goals and other things, financial freedoms. So that is very important, but no doubt also important things is protection and emergency fund. Okay, so we'll talk about that. So what is growth? We are saying that this is the mid-term and long-term investing. So where we are spending, or we are in spending money, or we are linking the goals to some specific things in our life. Like I want to buy a home, I want to buy a bigger car, child education, retirement, vacation, etc. So these are the long-term goals, and that we are investing our money, or we are putting aside money to do that. So what are the ways? Like banks are offering these fixed deposits, recurring deposits, mutual funds, shares, etc. All these things always go into long term kind of investing. The important thing here is diversification, because unless you have multiple options available with you, then whenever one thing fails, for example, let's say there is a big downturn in stock market, then obviously mutual funds also will start giving you negative returns. So if all your 100% money is locked in mutual funds, then you are at complete loss presently, right? So diversification is also very important. Always remember that. And then not I am saying, but you can just search net that the mutual funds and shares are the biggest return, they give biggest returns in long term. So long term as in at least 10-12 years, 8 to 10 12 years, like that, right? So this is the next thing is, many times we keep on looking at future, but then sometimes we just don't look at what is the present problem or what can be a present problem. So take example of this financial crisis which is currently happening because of pandemic, this COVID-19. A lot of people have lost their jobs, a lot of people have reduced their salaries. So I'm really grateful that I am working in Siemens. It is one of the very few companies in India now that who has not laid off a single person and not reduced a single rupees of salary from people. And I'm talking about 7 to 8,000 people working across India. So that's a real achievement, right? So they are also financially extremely free, extremely rich in that sense. Okay. So coming back to liquidity. So unfortunately, if you lose job, unfortunately some accident happens, some hospitalization is required, then you should have some money with you, which is important at that moment of time, right? So typical, the experts talk about this liquid funds or liquidity or emergency funds, so that this is typically 3 to 6 times of your monthly salary. So if you have that money easily available, for example, you have a fixed deposit which you can immediately break and get the money, or nowadays we talk about this liquid funds which are extremely flexible, and then you can immediately get at least up to 50,000 rupees immediately, within seconds if you want. So such kind of things in your bank account. So such kind of things are really important these days, so that emergency funds are really required to safeguard your emergencies. If you want to spend some money immediately for some task like accident, hospitalization, if suddenly a job is lost, then this kind of funds are really important. So when investing, we should keep aside some money to put it in emergency funds, and don't expect any high returns. You should not expect that I should get the money back 10%, 12% like that, right? So it is typically 5 to 6% returns you will get if you keep that emergency for a long time. Pray to God that you really don't require to be use this emergency fund, but then it is always better if you have such kind of funds available with you, because emergency doesn't come to you announced, it is always unannounced. Third thing is insurance. So many people run away from the insurance guys because they are very very they वो पीछे लग जाते हैं, right? So when I started my career, a lot of guys came to my doorstep and they wanted me to invest in some insurance. So insurance has multiple types. So I'm talking about life insurance as in this case. So term insurance. So a basic difference between a term insurance and a life insurance is that life insurance thing is coming with some kind of financial benefits, which are very very low, very very low. Okay, if you keep that money somewhere else, you will have much more money than no, the returns which you are getting from a life insurance. So instead, what I have discovered in long term is if you put your money in term insurance, so that is purely insurance money which you get if you die, or your family gets when you die, right? So the premiums are extremely low, as low as 500 600 rupees. If you want to invest, no, you have a life cover of, let's say, uh, 10 lakh 20 lakh, something like that. But obviously there are no financial returns, because the sole objective here is to insure against your life. There is no objective here to earn money out of it. So I always believe that if you invest in term insurance rather than a life insurance, you will have much more, no, much less premiums to pay. And at the same time, that balance money you can invest somewhere else and then earn much more out of it as compared to life insurance. Okay. Another thing which is catching up these days is health insurance, which is extremely important. Now, many corporates, they give you health insurance as part of the salary, or the part of the package, right? Like the way my company does it. They also give you a family cover. So if you're having 4 people, 5 people, then they cover you. They also cover your dependents also. So it depends on really what kind of company you're working in. But the health insurance, basically, I am talking about two things. One is the hospitalization, right? So many times you have some emergencies, and then there is a lot of options regarding cashless hospitalization are also available. So if you are having such health insurances from your company or maybe your private, then you can save a lot of money in that. You can also claim the money from these insurance companies after your hospitalization is done. Another benefit is typically 60 days cover is also available for pre and post expenses after your hospitalization. So all this, see, medical, the cost of medical expenses has been rising steadily in India and across world. So this insurance is extremely important. And the good part is, if your age is less, then you will have less premium to pay, right? So basically, another thing is here is the critical illness part. So this is also another type of health insurance, where if you are, let's say, diagnosed with cancer, then you upfront get some lump sum money to do some treatment on the part, right? So we really don't know when we are going to get a heart attack, when we are going to get a cancer. So it is better to stay protected by putting some money in such instruments, right? So always remember that whenever you are planning for a long-term strategy, you should also think about your protection, that is insurance and emergency funds. So if you have all three aspects covered, then your financial freedom is definitely guaranteed. Next is, you should take your time to decide where to invest. Spend some time alone with yourself. Take opinion of your near ones, like your parents, right, your close friends, which is very important. Because many times what happens is, someone comes to know that you have started earning, so now bakra mil gaya, right? So such people try to get advantage, that that they will try to give a lot of jargons, that financial management like is this, like that, etc. But you really should not hurry too much when you're deciding where to invest. Luckily, there is a lot of literature available, a lot of videos, a lot of information available on net these days. Everyone has a lot of options also, which were not there 10, 20, 30 years back. So our generation is quite lucky in that sense, because there is a lot of information available. So as an individual, I should know first where I am, what kind of goals I want to set, and then only I should take investment decisions. So first thing is, we should not get bogged down by these jargons. Next is, you should focus on your financial goals, like what we talked about, like home or car, or a vacation, family vacation, something like that, retirement. So just because I want to buy a mutual fund, it will not make any sense, or just because someone else wants you to buy an insurance policy, will not make sense. You should decide what is really in line with your financial goals. So that is more important. Third is, spend time in comparing various options. So that is really important, because nowadays, as I said, a lot of information is available, and then you can take the best use of it, and then you can really get a lot of information. And then a lot of companies offer similar products, so then you can just see the fine print and you can decide what kind of investments you want to do. Choose your financial advisor wisely. I suggest first you start your own journey, and then you start consulting someone else. You should not be dependent 100% on your advisors, right, at least at the young age. As you start earning more and more money, as your uh, uh, responsibility starts increasing, then obviously you have no more time to discuss all these things on your own, take care of this. But then obviously financial advisor is important. But as I said, he should be aligned with your goals and not the other way, right? You are not here to fulfill his sales targets. You are here to fulfill your own financial freedom. So that you always keep in mind. Be ruthless. Many times people, they do a lot of emotional stuff with you, and then they try to, they force you indirectly, emotionally, to buy things. So in those scenarios, I always feel that if we listen to our mind as well as the heart, then the decision is more logical, right? So in short, the jargon is very less in this financial management, and it is behavior of other people, behavior of your own as a self, and on achieving your goals, that is really important. There is absolutely no shortcut to earn money super fast, right? You can do gambling, obviously. You might earn more money, you might lose more money, but I'm talking here about the general ways what a normal people are doing, right? I'm not talking about going to Las Vegas or Goa or Mumbai and earn a lot of money in casinos. So we are talking about simple ways of earning money, and then investing and getting more money. So I have very nice quote here from net I got, that the quickest way to double your money is to fold it over and put it back in your pocket. Are you getting me? So just, you have a kind of note, and you just put it, and when you see it, now you can see that the money has doubled. It's just sarcastic. So there is no real way to double your money in 2 months, 3 months time. A typical calculation says that you require at least 7.5 years of time to do a double of your investment, right? So this is a golden rule. So there is no sure short fast way that you can, within 7 days or within 1 month you can have double triple money, right? So just to give an example, I have got one table from one website. So it talks about some mutual funds. So the idea is not to see which mutual funds, right? I am not recommending you to buy these mutual funds, but look at this site. No, the returns, annualized returns on 3 months is -7, -6, -7, right? So these are all negative returns. So you're actually lost money in first 3 months. Then if you had kept your money, then maybe 1 year you are having some slight positive. Over 3 years, the positive returns have increased. Over 5 years, it is more increased. So if you see this long-term strategy or long-term thinking, which I'm trying to tell you from start. So if you're keeping your money for a long time, the annualized returns will always start increasing, right? So you can see 15% to 17, 20% return is extremely good return over long term, right? We are not talking about just 21% of your present money. We are talking about annualized return. So it is kind of a compounding return, which I'm talking about. So at the age of let's you're starting at 20 years, and then at 40 years you will see a lot of money if you stick to this kind of things, right? So if you want to earn money legally positively, then obviously you should do it for over long term. There is no shortcut to that, right? So time and again, slow and steady will always win the race. Start slow, start small, do it regularly, then definitely you will achieve a lot of success in financial management. You might have heard about these Ponzi schemes, right? So my suggestion is always stay long way from away from these Ponzi schemes, right? So light year is what? Light year is typically 9.46 into 10 raised to 12 kilometers, right? It's a year, or it's a kilometer way of measuring distance between, let's say, sun and earth or something like that. So it's an astronomical way of measuring the distance, right? So the idea basically is we should not at all go to such schemes, right? You've seen this movie Fir Hera Feri, right? It's very comedy movie, and if you remember, at in first half an hour, this Bipasha Basu approaches these three idiots, and then she sells a Ponzi scheme by doing some sweet talk. And then what really happens is, she gives a lot of unbelievable returns she promises, and what really happens is, after some time, they are again back into their traditional the way they have been doing in first movie, right? So Ponzi schemes really break your back in negative way, right? So how do you identify what can be a Ponzi scheme? So one is basically, people will always talk to you, people will always do a super sweet talking, right? So one, see, I have seen, if you are in touch with a good financial advisor, he will not push you too much. He will always tell you what are the pros and cons, and then he will allow you to take a decision. Not he will take decision on your behalf, or he will not emotionally appeal you to take some decisions, right? But these Ponzi schemes, they keep on talking to you. They will, they will call you for grand conferences, big participation schemes, like, you bring 10 people, you will get some commission, something like that. They will shower you with a lot of gifts, right? They will also give you some money, whatever they are promising. Like, if they're promising 20% returns in, let's say, 3 weeks, so they will also make initial payments for some time, just to hook you to that scheme, right? So these are the way you identify. This promise of extremely high returns is also one of the catch in these things. So like every person, we are greedy by nature in some way or other, right? So if someone is giving me 20-30% returns immediately, then obviously uh, I might be tempted to do that. But it is just not possible to earn so much money in so less time. That we all have to remember very clearly. Also know that where this money is being invested. These people are very cunning. They never tell you what kind of things they are doing. What they are really doing is, many times they are giving this money to someone else, right? And then that money is just circulation. So once the money incoming stops, then obviously the circulation also stop, and then the Ponzi really starts giving you a hard time, right? Other thing is, there is no reputed name, reputed brand doing all these things. So always see that these all big brands, they're always conservative in the way they're operating. So they are never involved in any Ponzi kind of schemes, right? So Ponzi is really problematic, really detrimental to your financial freedom. So always avoid such traps. Another enemy of you is inflation. So what is the inflation basically? You can see a nice image here. So the cup of coffee was pricing around $0.25 in 1970, and the same has increased over time. The same coffee cup, same taste, same quality, same company, now it is selling at 1.59. Now, don't these are not biscuits, right? What I'm showing you, these are just the way the price has increased, right? So it is not that because I'm increasing the cost of coffee, the biscuits are free. It is just a way how the increase is shown here uh, linearly, right? So the point is basically, inflation is reducing the purchasing power of your money. As I said, uh, the milk was just 10 rupees a liter when I was a child, and now it is 50 rupees a liter, right? So this is the way inflation is playing. So the milk is same, the quality is same, everything is same, the properties are same, but just I am spending now more money to pay for the same amount of the commodity, right? So inflation is really another big enemy of financial freedom or financial planning. So the bottom line basically is, all our investment should have higher returns than the inflation. So typical inflation you see in the market is 6 to 7%. So if you are earning salary less than that every year, then definitely the time is to change the money, change the company, or try some different strategies, right? So if your investments are not giving enough returns than inflation, then it is a bad investment. So always remember that whatever you're investing in, your hard-earned money, it should always uh, uh, earn more than inflation, right? Okay. Golden rule is start investing early. You have the right age right now, around 20, 21 years. The first salary itself, if you start saving, if you start investing, then it will do a big magic in coming years. So just to give an example, you can see here that the first guy on the left, he started at age of 35, and then he's investing money 15,000 rupees per month, right? And he invested for 25 years, so he wanted to retire at 60. So his investment, so just you do 25 years multiplied by 15,000 multiplied by 12 is 45 lakhs. Okay. So ultimately he earned around 4 crore rupees. So you can see that there is a 15% annual returns in so long, right? So that has really helped him get the money. But the other guy who started 10 years before, who started with less money and who invested for longer time. So because 35 years multiplied by 5,000 multiplied by 12 comes to around 21 lakhs. But because he was spending for investing for longer time, he could amass a 5.6 crore amount. So why, how this happened? This happened purely because of compounding interest, right? So very famous quote by Albert Einstein that compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world. You might have studied compounding interest in your college, in your schools, right? But no one really told you that time what kind of things it can do, what magic it can do. So the magic it can do basically is it is earning interest on interest, right? This is the biggest magic of any compound interest scheme, right? So if you're keeping your money for longer time, the interest earned every year is also invested automatically, and that is also interest earning more interest, right? Take the other example. If you are paying loans, then this also works in negative way, because there is interest on interest. You will also spend a lot of money, waste lot of money in paying off the loan, right? So if you're investing, then you're earning money out of compounding interest. If you're just paying loans, EMIs, then you're losing money on account of compound interest, right? So always keep this in mind. Start early as possible. Another enemy is debt or loans. So debt come in various forms. So a simple loan, when we talk about loan, is home loan, which is obviously important because you don't have 70, 80 lakh rupees or 1 crore rupees to start investing in a home at the age of 20, 25, 30 years, right? So you have to take a home loan. Also, you get some benefit in terms of income tax from home loans. So that's okay. But the other loans which are really detrimental to your financial freedom are credit card loans, your personal loans, car loans. So if you really don't want to buy a car, and then just to keep your status quo, just to keep your status, you are buying a car every 2 years, then obviously you are in the trap of this credit card loans or car loans, right? So a study which Dave Ramsey did, and he found out that 75% of richest people in America said that getting out of debt is the key to their building wealth, right? So I'm talking about whenever you are paying money from your investments, from your savings to the debt part, then you are really not earning anything, you are simply losing it, right? So you can imagine financial planning just like the way a river and a dam work. So when you are earning more money, obviously there is a lot of rain, so the river is full, and then the water is being passed on to the next thing, right? And ultimately it goes to the sea. But if you don't have a dam in between, right, that water is really wasted. So when you have a dam in between the river, it will store the water for the drought, right? When there is no rain, that time this dam will really be helpful. So think of financial planning from that perspective. So you will have salary till age of 50, 60, and then what will happen if the salary suddenly dries out, or what will happen if your job is lost, right? These days you cannot have any confirmation or any you can say that the job is always secure, right? There is no security at all. So this kind of financial investments, financial planning will really help you for these difficult days or the drought days, right? So avoid debts or get rid of debt as fast as possible. That will really help you uh, kickstart your financial freedom again. Another thing is many people want to go to share markets when the market is very high, right? So presently market is extremely down. So you might have read in paper that a lot of investments are getting out. A lot of people are stopping their systematic investment plans, etc. So this is not really good way of doing it. So what we are doing really is we are trying to time the market, right? So what happens is when you out of grid you start buying something at higher price and then suddenly market goes down, then you are basically panicking, right? Then you're selling it at lower price. So because of this panic you are actually converting your paper loss, which the loss which has happened because of the reduction of the units or reduction of the shares. But when you sell it, you're actually converting that paper loss to a physical loss, right? So buying at high price and selling at lower price is the biggest mistake, and it will ultimately make you broke. So whatever you do it systematically. That is the only way to do it, right? So start small, start steady, and then build gradually on that. Diversification I talked about earlier. If you put all your eggs in a single basket, right, and if that basket fails down, then obviously all your eggs are broken. So try to distribute your finances. Put something in fixed deposit, something in recurring deposit, something in stock, something in mutual funds, right? Something in your liquid fund, something in emergency funds. So if you diversify those investments, then at the time of emergency or at the time of some big expenses, you will start getting that. And always put some goal for each investment. That will really help you in long term. Last but not the least, retirement planning. So retirement planning is extremely important, and the sooner you understand that, it is better for you. So the question is really not at what age I want to retire. Let's say I have a aim today that I want to retire at 50 or 55. But important is if I don't have enough money with me, that magical figure if with me, then it is really there is no point to retire at that age, right? So important is at what income I want to retire and not really what age I want to retire. When I'm talking about financial freedom, I'm not saying that you should quit your jobs and lie lazy and sleep a full day. That's not the point. Retirement planning or the financial freedom is basically frees you to do a lot of other things which you're not able to do because of your busy schedules, right? So retirement planning is extremely important, and you should start thinking of that from your first salary, right? And then it will really help you in going in long term. So when I see my parents, they are extremely comfortable right now because they thought of retirement planning in their early age and worked towards that, and now they are completely free, they are completely comfortable, and that really gives I see them as a role model of doing that. So retirement planning is extremely important, right? Now when we talk about this financial planning, there will be a lot of people who will pull you down, right? So I have a very nice story of a deep frog who once decided to reach top of the tree, right? So a lot of frogs started shouting, "It is impossible! You will not be able to achieve that, etc., etc." But that frog kept on going up, going up, going up, right? And then ultimately he reached at the top. So why he was able to do that? Because he simply ignored that, or because he was deaf, so he could not hear what they were saying. What he was only able to see their mouths moving, and he thought that they are encouraging him, right? So be that deaf frog. If someone is really trying to pull you down, someone is really telling you a lot of negative things, don't go to share market, you should always do something only in this way, etc. So just listen, smile, and then you decide, and you decide what you want to do on your own, right? So negative people are there around, but it is your job to see what you really want to do and how you want to achieve your own financial freedom. So be that deep frog, and that will really help you reaching your financial goals, right? So always remember that the wealth is not really having about lot of money, but it is having about lot of options. If I want to retire at 50 and I have enough money with me, I can still decide to do some small work here and there, and then keep on doing some webinars like this, etc. And then I can really spend quality time with myself, with my family, etc. So unless I have the money, I really can't think of doing that. Are you getting me? So wealth is really about not about having a lot of money, but it is absolutely about having a lot of options, right? So that's it from my side. I suggest reflect on what you are doing presently and what can be done better, and then change while still there is a chance, and there is a bright future in front of you. Make most of it. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah, over to you, Amit.
Yes, thank you, sir, for your valuable points So many of our viewers are currently students, and definitely the points which you mentioned were very valuable when they are soon going to enter their earning
Correct.
life. Basically, currently
Correct.
maybe they are in their pre-final years or final years or just passed out. So
Correct.
definitely when they start earning, these points are going to be very useful for them. So one or two questions actually. So
Okay.
one student was asking how to start investing when they have not actually started earning. Maybe they are earning some time of a type of pocket money or something like that. Maybe just they can invest around 500 or 1000 rupees a month, like that.
Correct.
So is it possible, like so if they are 18 plus right now and if they have a PAN, so would
Correct.
that be possible for the students?
Definitely possible. Simple way is to just to go to your bank, which you favor or which you where you have account, and start a recurring deposit just by rupees putting rupees 500 rupees. You can start. You can also buy mutual funds, like equity funds or a liquid fund at this amount, and you can start thinking of doing a systematic investment plan. So every month, if you start putting 500 rupees, then after maybe 1 year, 2 years, you will start getting some good amount. You'll start seeing some good amount. So any amount these days is, you can start a recurring deposit or a SIP as small as with rupees 100. So it is really not limited to any uh, kind of money you have, but it is really depend on whether you are ready to do that. So that is more important. That conviction, if you have, then the money will not stop you.
Right. So one more question. Are there some books which the students can read at their current age to manage their personal finance, or any finance related book which will be helpful for them at this stage?
Okay. So if you just put financial freedom on Google, you will get a lot of books. So some books, I think this some authors like Dave Ramsey, for example. Okay, and then you have this. There is an Indian author called Manoj Arora. So he is also he has written a very good book called From Rat Race to Financial Freedom. So that book I really liked. I also read that once or twice.
Mhm.
So that that really opened my eyes that I should also start thinking about financial freedom as such. Right. So if you start these books, you will get a lot of ideas, and then the net is yours, right? The Google is yours. You just type financial freedom, top 10 books. You will get a lot of books.
Right.
Right.
So, if the students, like you said, if they want to maybe start investing in mutual funds or maybe in stock market or something like that, maybe if the amount is even less, but maybe currently they cannot afford any financial advisor or such. So, which is the best source to learn all these things?
Uh, See, it is not the case that one kind of mutual fund house is good or other is bad. Okay, so if they go to any website, if they best, like you can start with the neutral websites like moneycontrol.com, for example, which talks about various fund houses and various schemes.
Mhm.
Okay, so there you will come to know that there are funds like Nippon Fund, there is a Franklin Templeton, or there are so many things like UTI. So it again depends on what kind of things you do. Every kind of fund house has every kind of mutual funds. Okay, so everyone is doing liquid funds, equity funds, large cap, small cap, whatever, lot of things. So in every company's website, you will also see a education section where they will talk about this, how these funds are, right?
Okay.
So that can be a good start to understand these things. So this websites like Money Control, or let's say what else. Mm, I think Money Control is a good website which I generally look after when I come across a new fund. So that shows a lot of things. Even this Economic Times, Mint, everyone has their editions, and you just start writing. Sorry, you just start reading. There is no hurry to invest something. But then
Mhm.
if you first get empowered, first get the knowledge about that, then it becomes very easy.
Right. Okay, I don't think there are any more questions.
Okay.
So I would like to thank you, sir, for your valuable time.
Yeah.
And definitely we'll be meeting again on next Saturday
Yeah.
with another interesting topic on getting successful in career and life.
Yeah.
So thank
Yes.
you again. And thank you everyone who have watched this particular live session. So thank you and have a good day.
Okay. Bye.